I want to thank the government for the action they have taken to make sure that those Chinese are deported. I want to warn other investors from other countries who want to invest in Kenya. They must respect Kenyan workers. They must respect Kenyan people. Kenyans are very hardworking people in this region. And we have a huge economy in this country that if it is properly managed, it can grow and grow and grow and create employment for the Kenyans. Let those who come to invest in Kenya think that we want them, that we are separately in need of those investors. We want investors who respect the call of the International Labour Organization on providing decent work for Kenyans, not just mere jobs. Tunataka wale wawekezaji ambao wanapeana kazi bora, sio bora kazi. So if you want to invest in Kenya, you must be a serious investor, and you must take time a little bit to read what our labor-related laws say. So I want to thank, once again, I want to thank Dr. Matiang. I want to thank his Minister of Interior. I want to thank the department, the police, for the good job they did. They swiftly moved in and arrested those guys. But as I said when I was addressing and appealing to the government to arrest them and deport them, I want also to tell Kenyans that just don't watch and record when somebody is being beaten by a foreigner. You must come together and also fight that foreigner. Beat him thoroughly. You don't let him go. And court will provide a lawyer for you. I've said this time and again. Beat that man who doesn't understand the tenets of being a gentleman, or a person who doesn't want to read what is supposed to be read. We attained independence so many years back. And this is not the time somebody should not come here and say he wants to beat us and so on. You cannot use our desperation as far as provision of employment is concerned to indirectly enslave us, to indirectly make us slaves, to pay us peanuts. As such, employers should be rounded up by Kenyans themselves and be beaten thoroughly. Don't just watch. If in your farm, in your company where you are working, a company owner or a capital owner misbehaves, you also misbehave. And we will be there to protect you. Because sometimes these people think when they have a lot of money, they will bribe and get away with it. Call the police, report to the authorities, but at the same time, instantly take action against that particular person. And so many will learn a lesson that this is not a country where you can go and just play around with people. Today, if you go to Ethiopia, any foreigner in Ethiopia is wrong on whatever type of crime is taking place. Ethiopians will always come together to protect their own. Kenyans must learn that. Go anywhere, even if it is in Tanzania, Tanzanians will come together and protect their own. Even if it is in Uganda, the Ugandans will come together and protect their own. Don't just say we are a liberal society, or we are the most developed with huge economy around the region, and we don't mind. We have a lot of people who are jobless. We can take some to Qatar, to Kuwait, to Saudi Arabia, irrespective of the results when they are coming back to Kenya. Our daughters sometimes come back in coffins because we can't be able to provide employment. This is a very serious matter, and we must take it seriously. And I want to tell Kenyans, you better die a poor person, but very dignified, other than somebody coming to enslave you, somebody slapping you, somebody fighting you, somebody caning you as if you are in prison. And even our prisons don't cane. And therefore, if you try to do that, I'm appealing to Kenyans of goodwill, please retaliate in a very heavy manner, in very equal measure, by making sure that such employer is thoroughly beaten and the factory is closed. And if need be, burn that factory. Burn that factory. Burn that factory. If it is an hotel, burn it. Don't just sit and wait. Burn it. We are there, we will protect you. We have lawyers as workers. We have everything. We will appear in court. Nevertheless, nowadays even murderers are given bonds. So don't fear to fight somebody who is causing problems at your workplace. Yeah. Fight that person. Kenyans must love their own. And I want to thank Dr. Matiang. I want to thank the DPP. I want to thank the director of the CID for the good job these three young men are doing. And they must be supported. Yeah? Support Kinoti, support Haji, support Dr. Matiang for the good job they are doing. They moved in swiftly. These fellows were arrested, and yesterday Dr. Matiang was announcing the deportation. He issued a deportation order. Let it be a lesson to others. Let it be a lesson to others. I thank you. Let it be a lesson to others. I wish I was there, as old as I am. I would have. Sorry, sir. It would have been a different case when I'm there. Ningelimchachua soki ila jaona, kumleta karibu hivi na kumpa head kwanza kabla sijaanza kumchezea. Ningelishangaa huyu mzee yuko aje huyu mzee. Angelijua mimi ni mzaliwa, mimi ni mtoto wa mtaa. That day he would have known me. Angelijua mimi ni mtoto wa area. Acha acheze huyo Mchina ana bahati. But also I want to tell Kenyans, I coordinate Africa and Asia. What the Chinese are doing here, they cannot do it in their own country. What the Chinese are doing here, they cannot do it in their own country. Yeah. And I want to appeal to the immigration department of our government not to allow Chinese to come in this country without work permits. We don't want to see them loitering everywhere. And let us get audit of their companies and what they are doing. Lazima police, I'm appealing to Mtiambai, who is my friend, the Inspector General, to round up all Chinese who are in this country without work permits, or who have no business here, or who have just come here to commit crime, to be taken back to China. Because what Chinese are doing here, they cannot do it in their own country. The Chinese companies here are bribing. They bribe Kenyans. Chinese contractors are involved in corruption in this country. When in their country corruption, the penalty for corruption is by death. Yeah. So let's not allow Chinese to roam around, sometimes with our own daughters, sometimes with our own sisters, sometimes with our own wives. They must be stopped, these Chinese. They must be stopped on what they are doing. Because what they are doing here, they can't do in China. I coordinate Africa and Asia, and I have a lot of respect for the president of China, President Xi Jinping. He's a president who supports workers. I have a lot of respect for all Chinese Trade Union Federation. I know they are serious people, 267 million members, but what Chinese are doing outside China, particularly in Africa, they cannot do it in China. So let's teach them a lesson here. They are not part of the big, good population of China. And let's take those back to China to meet coronavirus in their own country.
It turns out that most of these Chinese nationals or foreigners, they've been here without even legal documents, yet they've started working here in the country. So does that mean in some way that also corruption is aiding their being in here in the country because they're here without proper documents?
What they normally do, they come here on a visitor's visa. And when those visitors' visa expires, they just mingle with the people around. I don't think whether we have capacity to monitor on those people who come and when they are supposed to go back. And the only department of government that can help us is police. If that's why I appeal to Inspector General to round up all Chinese to see, so that we can see, we can know which type of Chinese do we need in this country, and what type of Chinese and what type of work they are doing here. Or else what we need to do is to stop them from coming here without first of all showing us what they are coming to do. There is no any country you can go to unless you must explain why you have come, either conference, business trip, or something, or medical, or and for how long you will be there. So this is what the Kenya government must strictly adhere to make sure that these Chinese without official documents are deported back to China. They are all criminals.
But corruption is buying them their stay here in the country.
But you know, this country, I've said time and again, that part of Kenya's culture is a culture. Culture. Yeah? Culture is a tradition. In Kenya is corruption. I've said that. And this is what President Uhuru is fighting. And he's facing a lot of resistance. Because let me tell you, if documents, official government, official fraudulent documents can be signed in an office of the deputy president, official documents or false documents are signed in an official office, a whole office, which has security gadgets, which has monitoring bases, which has everything, and a second in command office. Documents fraudulent, I don't know whether I was reading, whether it was true. You can see the level of corruption in this country. It is not, it is in domain. If a fraudulent former minister can enter into the office, the second highest office, with fraudulent papers, with rubber stamps, with foreigners, and he starts signing, you can see that level. Until somebody there realizes this is now, it might put us into a problem. I'm suspecting it might be the same office again after realizing that this 33 billion is a mirage, or 30 billion, 39 or 40 billion is a mirage. We might not. Let's call the police. This is what I'm suspecting, because that is what you are going to hear next. They are going to say, oh, it is us who called the police to arrest him. And how this has been your friend. He's a frequent visitor of Sugoi. He always fights other people in the Western Province. This billions to 40 billion. This is an open case. When I say that some people, if they assume the responsibility of leadership, they will put the whole Central Bank of Kenya on the back. Hiyo ni Central Bank ya Kenya, mtu anakimbia nayo. If such documents can be signed in the office, my friend, I will not be there. It's you young people who will suffer. Advise Kenyans that we have some fun in this country, and we must do away with the culture, this culture of corruption Kevin is talking about. We must do away with this culture of corruption, and to do away with the culture of, now it is in open domain. You know, people are surprised. Somebody who didn't go to school, how did he get his position into the cabinet? You can now see. Huh? Somebody who doesn't know the color of the shirt he's wearing, you ask him what the color of the shirt, whether it is blue, red, he cannot be able to differentiate. He becomes a cabinet minister. You can now see it is coming up. But on 5th of January, I cast, that was, I think, early last year, I cast the boy. I said, I will see the boy going down. Because he stood up and said, oh, I told him, I'm your father, I'm your elder. Even if I'm naked, you need to cover me. Even if your dad is naked, you need to cover him. You don't talk, you don't let him go naked. I will see you going down. And you will never see me going down, because you would have already gone down. You go down, after going down, the next thing, you go to the grave. And I will follow. You will never see me going down. Because you are not sincere, honest, and specific to yourself and to Kenyans. You are a liar. And for the whole week, when President Moi passed on, we were subjected to a lot of drama. People talking lies on television, people lying how Moi good was, and these people stole from Moi. I did not want to mention it there. What do you think Gideon was thinking? When you go there, you say how Mzee loved you, how Mzee made you a leader, and you stole from him. This is the Kenyans we have. Some took money from him today, tomorrow they defect to other parties. Some took money from him, we will mobilize people in our areas, that money they put it in the pocket. Some took money from him, we are going to buy you this and so on. This is to assist your government. They disappear with the money. When the Mzee passes on, they are the first people on television with ties in suits, how good Mzee was. And he doesn't want to mention, I stole from President Boy. He doesn't want to mention. Chances sana watu waongo. Umbavu. You know, you can be surprised. This is the type of Kenyans we have. Ninafikiri nimewapa story mrefu mingi. Yeah? Mnaona mnaweza kuikata kwa sections and so on. Imeenda yote. BBI is my brainchild. In 2017, May Day, I announced that you people thought my head was not proper. When I said we must revisit the constitution, President Uhuru is young, is going nowhere. Because in this dispensation, in this succession processes age, but Uhuru has not attained his retirement age. Where is he going to go? For him and the rest to keep this country peaceful, he must remain in the system. He must remain in the system. Either for people to consult him, to guide, to implement what he had started, or to support whoever will be in power. He will not go in Katundu and stay there and then you expect him to support. Or to go there and get some, you withdraw his security and so on because he's no longer president. So he must remain in the mainstream. And therefore this BBI, it is meant to bring peace after elections. After elections, not that a winner takes it on. My objective on this is to expand the executive. And I don't say it in fear or in any other way without fear of contradiction. Or being worried, oh, why do you want to expand? What happens, I've been everywhere in the world. People make constitutions that can bring prosperity in their countries, that can bring peace in their country, that they can grow economy in their country, that these constitutions can assure and guarantee security of the citizens and their properties. That is why people make constitutions. Constitutions are like company memorandums or company actual memorandums that organize companies. Shareholders must have position. The main shareholder must be a chairman of that particular company. The main shareholder must also sanction and interview who will be a CEO of that particular company. That is how constitutions are. Constitutions are made with people in mind. Some say, oh, how do you make a constitution with some people in mind to fill those positions? Those are lying because they cannot occupy those positions. I have declared I don't want to be a president, I don't want to be a prime minister, I don't want to be anything, but I want a constitution that will be in this country for posterity, that will protect Kenyans and give Kenyans peace. Therefore, BBI, after all these meetings which are going on, we are going for a referendum, and by 10 it would have carried the day. That I can assure you that one for free. And we are going to create that, including other areas of improving our economy and protecting our nation. So BBI is just like what President Uhuru and former Prime Minister Raila Amolo Odinga are saying, that nobody can stop reggae. I, for one, I don't like reggae. My wife likes reggae, but me, I don't like reggae. But I've now been converted to say nobody can stop reggae. Me, I'm a boogie man. Me, I'm a rumba guy. That is where I belong, rumba. Because rumba, you go cool with a baby on your shoulder. You move slowly and you listen to a good solo from Kaema Doka. You see, good music from Kaema Doka, a best guitarist in the world, whether being led by the late Rochiro Tabule.
I also sing.
You also sing. I can buy you a guitar. Recently, I bought this girl called Sarah, the one who was here recently with, you know Sarah, the guitarist, the young lady who is deadly on the solo guitar or leading guitar.
Labda ni swala la Wachina, ungetaka nini kutoka kwa ubalozi wa Uchina? Maana lazima kuwa na ushirikiano.
Balozi wa Uchina saa zingine hawajui haya maneno, because wale wanaokuja hapa wanakuja kama wafanyabiashara alafu wanapotea. Sometimes hata balozi hana record zao. Sisi tulijaribu siku moja kufukuza Mchinese mmoja ambaye alichukua hela nyingi sana kule NSSF. Wakati tulienda kwa balozi alisema hao watu walikuja kama wafanyabiashara. Sasa sina record zao. Lakini mkubwa wa hiyo company akakimbia kabisa, because nilienda kumreport China. Hawezi kuingia China. China akiingia atanyongwa. So watu hawa mikora wengi, balozi hana record yao. Na pia balozi ameonya wale wako pale, mkiingia katika Kenya mfuate sheria za nchi ya Kenya. So hii vitu wanafanya ya ukora haiko katika ndani ya msimamo ya serikali ya China.